Can't walk around and be his dad. But, so what purpose is he in protection? You know, and she probably got more money than him. So what relevance is his provision? You get what I'm saying? But so now he got to play the woman role to her because he doesn't have the ability. But it may work for their family, and that does not make him any less than a man. You feel what I'm saying? But now we talk about something even more important. We talk about this one is better. You got oh no, I got the phone stand. Yeah. So what we're talking about here is the levels that you were taught. So for a man to be a man, what's important for a man, and all you men take notes, is to have a purpose. She touched on it when she said that you have to have a vision. See, the purpose of a man is to create and to build. So the first thing he has to do is have a vision of where he's going and what he wants to build for himself, then his family. Because the family is an extension of self. So a man is going to create new extensions of himself in his children. So if he doesn't have a purpose or a vision of where he's going, what is it he got you following? What are you following, love? That's when he's not ready or prepared to have a family. Because he's still finding himself. This is the reason why most men don't become ready for a family until their 30s or later. Some never.
Because they have to.
Because first they have to find purpose.
Yeah,
and they have to have a purpose. Now, if you find a woman that's willing to walk you through your purpose and help you to get there, you blessed. She should not have to. No, not at all. You as a man should already have yourself together, and you should already have a purpose that you're looking to achieve, something that you're striving for. Why are you here? What are you doing in this world? What do you want to accomplish? And it should have something to do with benefiting first your family, your family, your mom, your sisters, or whoever's involved, whatever family you have, if not and then your community, and then the world. So it starts with your family, then community, then the world. And as you extend yourself to become more beneficial and give back and create something, whether it's creating a home for your family, whether it's creating a business for your family, whether it's creating the provisions for your family, you know what I'm saying? As soon as you're able to do those things, then you have reached man's status. Before that, you are a boy. And boys have what she also touched on was responsibility. Now, all of these things will create good charactered men. Okay? So the first thing you want is a good charactered man who knows his purpose and is reaching his purpose. And then as a woman, what you do is you look for a man whose purpose you align with. I like what he's about. I like where he's going. And I want him to lead me that direction. Once he's on his mission, you're not the focus. Right. Man's mission is for God placed man here before women. Not because men are better than women. Women are actually, in my opinion, way more complicated and way more complex and way more powerful than a man.
More intelligent, for the most part.
But that's why it's not your job to protect yourself. Your job is to be the thinker of the family, with the family in mind. That goes to the job of what is the purpose of a woman. Right. The purpose of a woman is to nurture and beautify. They are the purpose.
Multiply.
Yes.
Well, that's something that they have the ability to do, but even if they don't do that, they're still a woman.
No, but not.
What if they can't have babies?
No, it's not about babies.
Okay, she's getting deep on you. Now I gotta say she's right.
I'll be 36 and I don't have any children.
Okay.
But I can say that I multiply.
Okay.
Because if you bring me food, I'll give you a meal.
Right.
You give me a house, I'll give you a home.
Yeah.
You bring me money, I'll multiply the money. So we multiply. I think it's more so than just children.
Absolutely. See, I can give you the perspective from a man. I can only give you insight from a woman, but she just gave it to you. Ladies, I agree 100%. What was you saying, bro?
No, she touched on something I was thinking about too, because women, I was gonna say a different word. I was gonna say they take what the provisions that's provided, and they not only preserve it a lot of the time, but they do multiply.
So, that's exactly what they do. She's absolutely 100% right.
That's why the man comes and gives a check to the woman so she can pay the bills and make sure.
Today.
Look,
she deserves this plate, don't you think?
She earned this plate. She earned this plate, huh?
I've never had this food.
Oh yeah, she's about to enjoy it. So like I said, every Monday we do this.
She heard about you, bro.
Well, Everybody
should
with us.
Oh, you
Chop
about
it
to
up.
see. You
While
about
he
to
chop
see.
it up.
Yeah, you
And we
about
give
to
y'all
see.
some jewels, man. She
Right
give it
before
to
your
y'all.
eyes, I
So,
promise.
how do we progress as a people if we continuously don't know our jobs or do our job? Don't accept the man. And I'm gonna tell y'all ladies, this is where y'all go wrong a lot of times. Y'all accept men that don't have a purpose. You don't even know where he's going, and you think he's cute or you like him. You like
I'm a victim of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can speak to that. I followed a man for years. 7 of them.
Wow.
Oh, tell us about it.
Wow.
We want to hear this.
Let's get into this.
Make the podcast, yeah.
Make it
We
spicy.
blowing you up, sucker.
Yeah, that was, I did. And I was comfortable being at the forefront. And going through therapy and just like through my healing process. He was killed almost 3 years ago.
Oh,
July
wow.
11th,
Sorry
make
to
it
hear.
3 years. That's 3 days before my birthday. And I went through a stage of just thinking like, Jesus, was that a lot of time wasted? Like love, of course, was there. I openly loved, but I'm just like, it was the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
And that's because I thought I had the answers at one point in time, and that's just because I'm like, okay, I have the education behind me, I have the family structure behind me, I'm sure of myself, and so I had a street guy that I was dealing with, and there was no goal, there was no plan. And what happened was I fell victim to what he was going on, like everything was so sporadic. It was like you gotta stay ready. It's like, you know, because there's no,
You never know what's gonna happen.
And I lived my life like that for years. No discipline, no structure, no routine. Like,
that brings me to another point. Another purpose for man is to instill discipline. Women are not equipped to instill discipline.
now is that just in the woman, or is that the family
It
structure?
becomes
as well with
overboard. It becomes like a
children
Medea
also?
thing.
I'm talking about with the children as well, because, well, let's make sure we start getting this. Your phone don't die. Alright, we're talking about the family structure in its, as a whole, because what happens is we're taught a lot of times that a woman, like you hear a lot of times what men say,
They
that.
use a phone with a case.
Boom. So we're taught a lot of times that being a woman, that you gotta humble yourself to a man and you gotta be willing to submit. But what we're really doing, what we're really supposed to be submitting to is the godliness in the man. You're not submitting to the man. If you're submitting to a man, you don't know what you're really submitting to, unless you know what his purpose is. If you're submitting to the purpose, though, nothing he do can ever disturb the purpose. You wonder why our grandparents stayed together, because it was bigger than them. It wasn't about
That's the
themselves.
secret. That's the secret. I think that's what's missing. And that's what's missing. I think also men spend too much time trying to humble women. And respectfully, we will not humble you.
You can't.
But what I will do is I will move with humility. But you will not humble me.
First of all, nobody can humble anyone. You have to be a humble person. And I don't even agree with humility. Humility is weakness. Okay? I don't ask somebody to humble themselves. Look up the word humility and see how all the negative connotations that come with being humble.
I read that somewhere.
Okay? So it's not about being humble. It's about a lack of pride and arrogance. There's a difference between being non-prideful and being humble.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You have to have pride, but you have to have a balance. It's all about the balance of things. And the point of female and men and the way God created us was so that we could keep the balance. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
And if we don't have that balance, our children suffer, which creates this new dynamic where the men are weak, the women are strong, and because they had to be. You got to understand, there's the gorilla and all this type of stuff. The reason why is because the same thing for many years, we've been perpetually attacked as a community. And they put these things in us. They promote it. I was talking to this, and I'm going to bring this up because this is really important. I know a lot of y'all we grew up on the Cosby Show, a lot of our older ones, right? And we looked at Bill Cosby, and it was like, Bill Cosby got a beautiful family, he got the beautiful wife, but Bill Cosby was a pussy. If you really look at the show, what was his job? He delivered babies. This guy was a midwife. You get what I'm saying? And he lived in his office was in the house. He never left. He took care of kids. He was the wife. She was the husband. She was a lawyer. She had no suit. She had an office outside the house, and she would have to go to work. And she was also the disciplinarian. Every time he tried to discipline his children, they took him like a joke.
They ran over
him. And then the mother would have to come in and discipline them. So go look at the show and tell me I'm
You had
wrong.
to sneak to eat a sandwich. Come on.
Okay?
Yeah,
But we grew up thinking that was the perfect family. Making a weaker man and stronger women. No, that's wrong.
She was a lawyer.
But when you look at the white families that they showed you, they always had the father working and the mother a housewife. Yeah. They never showed you a white woman working. Name them. Until what? Sex in the City is when they began showing independent white women. Because it was white women that struggled with the abuse from their husbands. We don't come from abusive men.
Yeah,
we come from the reason why the men are abusive, and I'm not saying that black men are not abusive today, because so many of them are.
Unfortunately.
Yes. And that's because of the weakness that they feel, not giving any excuses, because I still feel like that's a character flaw, but that comes from the being subjugated for so long that you don't even feel like a man. Especially when we have this new culture where it's all about a bag. Whose face is on the bag? You seen a black man on a dollar bill ever? So we don't have the ability to give you what you're looking for. We don't have the bag.
Still got his worshiping white folks.
Yeah, as you chase the bag, you get closer to marrying white men. And to be honest, that's what they did all this for. Their melanin is depleting, and they are our children. There's not no hate on no white people, because we all come from the same source. But this is the fact. They lost melanin from a disease called leprosy, which stripped them of their melanin. And as they began to lose melanin, they got kicked out of our homeland. We pushed them into the mountains called the Caucasus Mountains, which is why we call them Caucasian. Okay? They lived in the Caucasus Mountains, banging each other over the head because they had no food in the mountains. There was no, we was living in the middle of Africa, big old fruit growing all over the place. And then we kick them up in the mountains and it's snowing up there. They got to kill animals and wear their skin. They become barbaric. And over decades and generations, not decades, but generations of being in this position, it made them savage-like, and they just wanted to fight to come home. So they started to create these weapons, these powerful weapons of mass destruction mostly. You know what I mean? You're going to have to open yours again. These things are slipping and sliding. You know, but they created these weapons of mass destruction to try to gain power over a people that was super powerful. Because as you know, us as black people, we know we're so powerful, we're so strong. But how did you get subjugated by this man? Because that man used mental tricks and switched you and had our families against us. And now they have our women against us and us against our women. This is what they did. And it's up to us to find out who we were and what connects to our people. You can't keep connecting yourselves to what the white man did or this person did. You have to find your people who relate to you. Find what we call your tribe. And then we come together after we connect to our tribes, because all black people ain't the same people. We ain't all the same. And we ain't all family. That's just cap. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, everybody in the world is family. But when you look at white Caucasians, or what you call white folks, how many different types are there? You got the Czechoslovakian, Polish, Russian, Italian, German. How many more can you name? Do they all consider themselves brothers and sisters, or they each have individual cultures that they respect and love? We celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Those are just who? Irish. They ain't got nothing to do with Italian.
Nothing to do.
And they don't accept that. And then we look at Italians, you're like, hey, it's mafia and all that. That's the culture that they represent, right? That's part of their culture. And then you look at these people, Germans, and they got Hitler in their culture. None of that got nothing to do with our culture. Why do we claim everything that's our culture? Why are we so ignorant that we don't find the differences in ourselves and respect the differences in ourselves so that we can connect later as different people instead of trying to connect as one people?
I think that
Through the plight of slavery at that.
There's a lack of self.
A lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Knowledge of self.
So
Agreed.
There's no way to
Well, I can't say there's no way.
Well, no, there is a way.
Yeah. We got to trace our history. You have to go back independently yourself and find out where you come from. Because just because my house got Egyptian stuff all over the place don't mean I'm Egyptian. That means I respect certain things that I learned from Egyptian culture. Okay? I know I'm a Yamasee Native American Indian, as well as my blood comes from Northern Sahara. Okay? Because I trace my bloodline. Okay? So that's where my people come from. Now, I know from that they migrated as Moors into the Americas, where they became Yamasee Native American Indians decades later, because my father did that math. Now, I'm not sure how much of that is true. I checked it for myself to make sure I knew what worked for me. And I embrace the things that work for me, and I connect to the tribal people that work for me. And as we do that, we separate into these tribes, then we can have a Wakanda type of situation where we got the plate-lipped lady and the guy with the fur on, and that's what they was trying to show you. The world is divided by cultures, not by colors. And as long as we keep calling ourselves black and thinking we Negroes or black people, we ain't getting nothing, because black don't have a land, black don't have a language, and black don't have no shared bloodline. Which father that is mine, that's yours, that you could say we brothers?
Or culture.
Which one? Name him. What's his name? You don't know. You're just making some crap up because you want to relate. So what you're really doing is we have trauma bonding. We have trauma bonding. And we want to bond through the trauma. And that's the reason why we can't connect. Because you think a blood and a Crip, they might not like each other. They might have been, Tutsi and Pygmy in Africa and never liked each other for 3,000 years. And then they come over here and be like, I don't like this guy. I don't know why. And then you say black on black violence. But you don't say white on white violence when Czechoslovakia and Russia is having a war. It ain't white on white violence. You get what I'm saying? Every war in the world is white on white violence for the most part. But we don't say that, or black on black violence. In Sudan, they're warring right now, black against black. That's black on black violence. You get what I'm saying? But no, it's culture against culture. This community against that. Thought process against thought process. And that's what we have to embrace, and that's what we have to accept, that there's so many differences in us, you know, to the point where we separate into light skin and dark skin. Like, that's the thing. You get what I'm saying? We know that separation is necessary, but we don't understand how it should be done. Okay? So it's important for us to start learning about ourselves and then connect to the people that you connect with, what I would perceive or call your tribe. And that tribe, then you could sit at the table with other tribes of different like minds, and y'all have, just like they do at the UN or any other place, y'all have y'all meetings before, and then we go to America and say, this is what we want with an ambassador. Where's the ambassador for black? Who we got talking for us every time we get beat? Nobody. We just keep picking and begging for these white people to not beat us anymore. But they just trying to save their culture. And how they do that? They teach our women to want their men. Because what we fail to realize, and this is something else that I'm going to put y'all on to, seed only comes from a male. So, what does that mean? If I plant an apple seed in the ground, what kind of tree do I get? Okay, so if I go to China and I plant the seed, an apple seed in the ground, what kind of tree I get? It's not going to be a pomegranate? An apple is an apple. No matter what seed, what ground you plant your seed in. Okay? So the woman is Mother Earth. She represents the ground. Okay? And that's why it's very important for her to choose the proper seed, because it will grow from that. And you may be a good soil, so you may be able to make the seed a little better. It might be a better fruit, but it's still going to be the same type of fruit. Okay? So if you don't want no apples, don't plant no apple seed in your ground. Right. Hey, we got the math here, don't we? True, my brother. We supposed to be all God's children. That's right. We all God's children. White, black, all of us are God's children. And not only that, we all come from the same source. And the only thing that makes us different is climate and where we was born, the time that they spent in that climate. So as they began to stay in the Caucasus Mountains for years, their eye tones got lighter from not having the sun on them from the Africa. Africa hot as hell. You go to Africa and see if you can avoid the sun. Okay? But when they're in the mountains and the sun ain't hitting their ass, they slowly lost melanin. And if you check, you'll see that I'm right. Light eyes are usually, the lighter the eye is, the less strong it is. Meaning that a lot of them have impaired vision. Blue eyes, green eyes.
I don't mean to compare people with dogs, but that's the same thing with dogs.
Absolutely.
So you'll see a dog, it's a blue eye, like a Frenchie or something like that, and I learned that that's a defect.
Yeah, it's a defect, and they can't see. They have more problems than an average dog with their sight. Their sight is not as strong. Melanin is a strengthener of everything. It turns sunlight into kinetic energy and other forms of energy. And that's what the melanin does. It's a transmutation device. It sends knowledge, it sends information to the body from the cosmos and from everything else. So we are more connected to the earth because of our melanin. And that's why they want your women. That's why they want black women. Not to destroy everybody, because they want to build their people. So they know if they put their seed in a more fertile ground, who got the most fertile ground on the planet? I'm talking about sexually. Black woman. So if I want your ground, I got to first knock down your men so I can take your land, just like they did from the beginning. Right now they're trying to do that in Czechoslovakia. Right? When they went to war, what did they do with the women and children? They moved them out of the country to the next country so you don't take their women and children before the war comes. Because that's what people do. That in the war, the purpose is to take the women and the children, and you kill off all the males so that you can implant your seed and the next generation be you. Okay? So this is what's really going on, people. I'm giving y'all the source, man. If the FBI come after me, it's y'all fault. Okay? But I'm giving y'all the source I ain't even supposed to be giving you. Okay? But I'm going to give it to you because we live, and they can't hurt me now. Not for now. I'm old, so I'm about out of here soon anyway. I got a long way to go, y'all. I'm going to be ready before I do that. Hey, you know what we're about to do? We're about to show y'all what we're doing with this food. Because Chef got some cooking up, and I got to show y'all some of this food, man. Because I'm getting hungry. I'm just making an excuse to look at the food. Probably try.
Right, let's see where we at with it. Like,
Ooh,
how
see
much
all that
longer
bubbly?
we got, Chef?
Chef Chain gonna have to clean my kitchen.
No, I got y'all.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Oh. Y'all wish I was here, don't y'all? I like her hair. Oh, you getting props already. Look at that. She said, thank you, Body. Yes, next time you got to pop up on us, Body. Oh, I'm losing. There we go. There we go. We back. So, is that all y'all want to talk about, or y'all want some more sauce from, the sauce god and the sauce goddess, huh? Y'all want some sauce from us. So she gave y'all a woman perspective that was just so perfect. Because, a lot of women don't know what it is to be a woman. Oh, and, she gave it to me from her perspective. I gave you my perspective, and then she corrected, not corrected, but enlightened me, and even gave me more insight from a female's perspective on what a woman, what the prerequisite to being a woman is. And I feel like you guys out there, for you men out there that really want to know what is it to be a man, go find purpose. Okay? Go know what you want to be about before you invite a woman into your house. Go get a house. Go get a car. Go get everything necessary, the provisions necessary to provide before you ask for a family. Because when you ask for a family, you are inviting a woman to either help you meet your obligations or struggle with you through them. Because you should have some obligations. And if you're asking for a woman to struggle, you better have a whole lot to give her in return. Okay? And I'm not one that thinks that men should be asking women to join their plight. I don't agree with you. I think you should get your money right. I think you should get your life right before you start taking people's daughters. Because if this is my daughter ain't staying down with no bum-ass nigga to come up nowhere. Sorry. Oh, I said the word. That's what got me kicked off there. Ninja. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. TikTok. I know you don't care, but I'm sorry. Anyway, my daughter ain't staying with no broke ninjas. Okay? Get yourself together, have purpose, and then you walk out, because we have fathers out here that protected their daughters. You wouldn't do that. You ain't getting away with that. Oh, no. You take my daughter, like I said, shotgun wedding. Oh, you got a pregnant? Oh, you going to marry her now.
Yeah.
But what about the fathers that have daughters that they don't have strong relationships with daughters and they're not really good to women? That question is like, would you want your daughter to meet you? A man like you?
Well, no, that goes to the character of the man again. Again, when we're dealing with the character of man, now we're also dealing with the character of the woman, because if she was raised by that man, chances is her character is going to be somewhat flawed too. It's going to be very difficult for a woman raised by flawed character, or a man raised by flawed character people, to have a positive character and be looking for a good man. You're going to have issues yourself. Yeah. And those issues are going to prevent a good man from wanting you.
You're going to attract what
you are. You know what I'm saying? You're going to attract what you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
and
now,
I'm learning that. So
and you won't know what a good man is, because you're going to have the example is going to be a father that wasn't crack.
You're not used to it. You're not going to
know. Or the absentee of one.
Or the absentee of one.
So you really just don't know, and it's a learning experience, because I can't really say that. I was raised by my grandmother. And my grandfather, he left when I was in elementary school, like right before middle school. So I knew that they had longevity, and as far as I think they had at least been married maybe 20-something years by then, before he left. And I found myself not having a true idea of what a man was. I didn't meet my biological grandfather until West Africans are so funny. I didn't meet my biological grandfather until he was walking my mother halfway down the aisle. Wow. And the man that raised her walked to the other half. So I'm standing at the aisle with all these questions. But he's an amazing man. An amazing man. Still married, kids.
Can I ask a question? What do you know, or if you know, what do you feel caused him to not be there?
Knowing what I know now, or have an idea of what I know now, I really feel like those were just struggles that him and my grandmother had, because he ended up leaving her with, which is so crazy, but her first cousins, that one of their cousins, like she wasn't
so in
her
the family,
cousin, but it was near,
it was
like
nearby.
close. And so him having longevity with women is not like he pounced around for women. He was with my grandmother for eons of years, and then until he just recently passed, he was with this woman that he left her for. So I don't feel like it was a commitment thing. I think that was just a them thing. And one thing, being raised in a West African household, is that I was shielded from whatever that they had going on. And that may be a good thing, because I don't think that you should expose, me personally, but I don't speak too much on it because I don't have children, but I don't think that you should expose your children to whatever dirty deeds is going on between you and your husband. So I feel like, and my grandmother did a really good job with that, because the only thing that I can remember her saying to me is that he was really, really mean to me. And I try not to get so caught up on astrology, but I'm a person of pattern. And he was an Aries man. And a lot of my childhood, since he left, I've blocked out. Like, and it didn't, like, I didn't even remember his birthday until he passed this past October. Like, and he's an Aries man. And I've been in 2 relationships with 2 Aries men for at least 3 years apiece. And the things that I struggled dealing with them was like, they were really, really mean to me. And I don't know if I was searching for a love that I missed from him, but or I was looking for acceptance because I didn't understand why until later, again, because he wasn't my biological grandfather. Because at 18, he just kind of like was done with me. So from childhood up to 18, phone bills, insurance, you know.
So you said they were mean. Let's dig into that a little bit. What is your idea of mean?
So I could be sensitive. No, I'm not gonna say I could be. I am.
Okay.
I am sensitive.
That's fair. That's fair.
I am sensitive.
Knowledge, self-knowledge, being self-aware. You know.
I'm going to
get that.
I'm an Aries, and I want to get some insight.
Okay. He took it personal. He over here taking it personal.
No, that's insights. Explain Aries characters.
I think the lack, but it's crazy because I have an Aries brother, and the 2 of them are completely different. But
3 types of Aries.
How my brother is with me.
3 types of Aries.
No,
let's get more into what it was that you felt he did.
So as far as like there was a lack, me personally, I received a lack of compassion and understanding. I was dismissed as far as like not feeling validated. There was no reassurance. And I don't even think that's an Aries thing. I think that as men, in any type of relation with women, there should be some type of validity and reassurance with them. And that was something that I lacked, and that I lacked with them specifically on the 2 encounters. And then even speaking with my younger brother, he called me one night and was just like, oh sis, I'm having girl issues type stuff. And he's explaining it to me. I'm like, yo, you remind me of this dude I'm dealing with right now. And then it clicked. I'm like, oh, I broke Gary's name. But I don't experience what the young lady was experiencing with my little brother. With me, he is the most caring, loving, nurturing.
But in relationships, it just
it doesn't work like that. And what I wanted from the guy I was dealing with, I seen him be how my brother is to me, to like other women and like his cousins and his sisters. So I know that they have that in it, but I just couldn't find the connect. And I'm starting to feel like it has to do something with the relationship and how with us. Like there's something that I'm not giving you that you might need.
I can give you some insight, I think, to some of that. And a lot of that may not be Aries as much as it's men in general.
Yeah, I think that's just really what it is. And I think the Aries portion comes in with the fact that they're really straight and direct and unfiltered. And I need a little filter sometimes.
That's it.
With me personally. And
so it's a little bit of sensitivity, as you said earlier.
No, it's overly sensitive.
Right.
But now, because I'm learning and practicing, what's the word I'm looking for? Emotional intelligence. I'm learning to shift through that. And I'm learning also now that you can't expect people to love you how you love.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
have to be able to see how they love and receive that.
Yes.
Because you're not going to love me. Like, I understand love languages and catering to that, but I know you love me, and I see how you show me how you love me. But now it's for me to receive that, or to accept that, or to want that.
Right.
And a lot of times, I don't even think that we know what we want out of love.
And that's what needs to be taught by our parents. You see, and this is a lot of, she oh man, she touched on so much. Our parents is what show us how to love, and the world as well. They're just the first to show us, giving us, as they're the first people that we see that give us an example of what to be.
And I think that was a lot of the struggle, because with me, one, my mother wasn't there and my father wasn't there. And my grandmother, she's so strong-willed. She worked a lot of the time, right? And what I lacked in a household, which I longed and needed, even as a child, was affection. Like, I don't remember hugging my grandmother. I don't remember the nurturing part. Even with her leaving me with my aunt, like, to this day, like, to hug my aunt is like, oh, get off of me, like, you know what I'm saying? Even now, she may do it jokingly, but I felt some type of way at a younger age. It was definitely a disconnect. So I didn't grow up with "I love you," because I think he even mentioned, he's like, I think one day he was telling his boys that they'll leave, like, yo, I love you, bro, but I don't. He was like, yo, so he said it to me, but I know he said it to me in the midst of, I don't want to. You're my woman, but I'm telling somebody else that I love them, so I'm gonna tell you too. Right. But he acknowledged, he was like, T-Mac, you never say it. And I was just like, damn, you might be right. Like, I'm not comfortable in that aspect of, because I didn't receive that. I didn't receive love and hugs and kisses, and I want that and I need that.
So
that's like a part of my being.
How, in a way, your grandmother, because of the lack of your grandfather, had to take on a masculine role and start to take care of the family, which then caused her to be hardened. A lot of times what happens is women, when they take on, this is why I don't believe that women should have to work. They should not be allowed to work. Big difference. Like they should not have to work. It's because it then hardens it. The men, we out here being hard. That's what we got to do. We got to be hard for the family. We got to buck it up. Nobody want to see no pussy ass nigga crying. No matter how much they tell you, oh, you can be able to be and you're sensitive and masculine. As soon as you do that shit, you a bitch ass nigga. So there should be a balance between that. Now that doesn't mean you shouldn't have emotional maturity and know when to release those feelings that you have. But what it means is that the world will have a safe space to do it in. But for the most part, your woman is not necessarily a safe space. She should be somewhat of a safe space. But as a man, we know, as men, we know that your women are more like children than they'd like to admit. And what I mean by that is they need a lot of protection. They need, what she was saying, reassurance. They need to be disciplined, all of those things. And if you're not able to balance those things properly, you end up with problems. And a lot of the men today were not taught how to properly balance that. Can't wait, really come vibe with you, bro. Oh, nope, no one hear that. We ain't gonna talk about that. They see it. That's the girl problems, yeah. But you always welcome, sis. You know it. I love the talks, real shit. Oh, we trying to give y'all the sauce, baby. That's what we doing here, man. Changing the narrative. But yeah, so the masculinity comes from the struggle. Women are supposed to be in a soft place all their lives. Right. From their father making sure they're supposed to be in a soft place. I say their father, not their mother, because she's supposed to be in her soft place too. Yep. So she can't help you be in a soft place. The only person she's supposed to show you from her being in a soft place how to be in your soft place. And if she got to work, she can't be in her soft place, so she ain't showing it to you.
Like, that is my heart's desire right now, to be with a man, to be in the soft space.
Well, that is most women's heart's desire. And I'm going to teach y'all how to gain your heart's desire. But it's going to be some work. Here's why. Because we have to recognize that we've been generationally cursed over multiple decades. They have pushed certain narratives, like I was talking about the Cosby Show. You got Living Single. You got, if you look back, you got Waiting to Exhale. All of these projected energies that were pushed on us all the way back from what was the movie with Oprah? What was the movie with Oprah? Color Purple. They always show us these influences of black men. Even today with Tyler Perry showing the same old narrative of a black man ain't crap, and then there's the light-skinned dude to come along and save you. The dark-skinned dude ain't never crap, and he's always bald.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't like baldies. Listen, but here's the real. The real is this. In order to find the man that works for you, you need a man. That's why you're fucked. Because a man, like a woman, can see, you know how you see your son, you have a son, if you had a son or something like that, a woman gonna tell you, oh, that girl ain't crap, don't need this, and don't be coming out, and they protect their sons, and that's what men do. That's why you have men with daughters, you know what I'm talking about, Blocko. Men with daughters protect their daughters like, you ain't gonna, not my daughter.
Not my daughter.
And that protection puts her in her feminine. And now, when another man come along, that man gonna say, oh, you can't do, if you can't do for my daughter at least what I was doing for my daughter, you can't have her. You can't have her.
Or daughters to be able to say, you can't do what my daddy's done.
Done for me, then I don't want you. Exactly, that's the standard created for you. And without that standard, that's why you're lost. So how do we fix this narrative? Sorry to tell you, ladies, some of you may already be lost, but we can save, and some of us men as well, but we can save the kids. And this is what it's about. It's not always about you. It's not about ourselves. It's not about finding, some of us are past that point. But if we want to change the path, the situation for the future, then the key is to start understanding where we went wrong and start putting different things in the children. Make it about the children. And why are you staying with the husband that might be doing, I ain't gonna say stay with nobody that's doing you dirty, but you working on certain things and y'all working on, y'all got flaws, and why are you sticking with it? To show the children to stick with people. That's why. You don't take abuse, you don't go too far because you don't want to show your children to take that. So it's all about what are you showing your children, not what are you telling your children, because children do not listen. They follow.
Right.
Yes. So it is important for us to show them a relationship working. It is important for us to be that example. And that's what we have to do. We have to, and if you want to find a man as a woman or a woman as a man, I would suggest you have a very stern idea of what it is you're looking for. And again, like I said, you look for a man that is looking for the purpose or on the purpose. He should be on his purpose, and you should agree with that purpose, not the man. If you chasing the man, he gonna change. You're gonna change. Your feelings gonna change. If you're chasing the emotional that rush, that's gonna change. But will not change if a man is on his purpose. He's gonna be on that purpose. If God give him a purpose and he on that and he ain't stopping,
there's nothing that was.
Ain't nothing gonna stop. And if you was there for that, you gonna love that man no matter what he do, because you doing, I'm doing. And remember, I also told you what love. When you're dealing with love, love is a selfish thing. It has nothing to do with other people. People have a tendency to think love ain't love if it ain't reciprocated. That ain't love. That's reciprocal love, which is a beautiful thing if you can find it. But for the most part, love is one-sided. You give love, and you're not supposed to be looking for something in return. So if you gave only what you wanted to give, then you would never be hurt. Stop giving more and expecting something in return, because most people are harmed by their expectations, not by the people.
That is something that I struggled with so deeply. I think in almost every relationship besides one. And that's just because I needed to learn my place in people's life.
Yes.
And not do too much.
Yes.
For the lack of better
That's
words,
the key.
I did the absolute
most. And most of y'all women are guilty of that.
If it starts off as I'm doing this just because, and you're not getting reciprocated, what I find is doing even more. Searching for the reciprocation.
Yes, sir. And then you start being resentful.
Exactly.
When you don't get it.
Or had you just given the
Until
love
you no
that
longer
was
want to
deserved,
give.
you know.
If they're not
and
deserving it,
I had to learn what loyalty was.
Yes.
My loyalty was unwavering. There was nothing. But I learned at this age that loyalty does have an expiration date.
Well, I don't believe that.
I don't believe that.
Loyalty is loyalty. If it has an expiration date, it wasn't loyalty.
It was
See,
opportunism.
it was opportunism. And when you didn't get what you wanted, you switched.
No, it's not about switching. It's about stopping.
Well, no, that's not loyalty. Listen, again, what we're talking about now.
Am I still dealing with you if I'm not loyal to you?
Yes, you're dealing with me as long as you're dealing with me. Loyalty is a whole other factor.
Loyalty
Loyalty
has
is a
anything to do
commitment
with-
to something.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? It's a commitment to something, whether it's a person or a thing.
So with my expiration, with the expiration, that means I am no longer committed.
But you never was if it has an expiration date. Commitment does not have an expiration date. You get what I'm saying? That's what makes a commitment. You committed. You're in. You get what I'm saying? That's why I teach that you should never give more than you want to give. You dish it out just enough until you see. If you want something in return, you're going to lose automatically.
Right.
So I'll give you an example of me as an example. I go out, I date, I talk to women all the time. And what I do is, I give only what I'm willing to give. When I'm no longer willing to give, and I don't see something that I feel is equal to what I'm looking for or that is benefiting me, I stop. And you know what? I'm never mad at what I gave because I wanted to give it.
Right.
So nothing you got out of me. I don't give a fuck what you got out of me. I done bought cars for shorties. I done paid for people to go to school.
Yeah,
Never once did I go, I want my car back. Or I want...
No.
You can have everything I gave because it was out of love. But I refuse to give any more because you're not going to hurt me. Because now I'm starting to feel like it's not... if I pay for something, if you buy this phone case, right? And it costs you $25, $30, and it works. And you keep all the stuff. Oh, y'all are here tasting food now. You see them tasting food? They tasting the food. Oh, yeah, that's don't worry about no high. Little bit of salt, Chef. Little bit of salt in that mug. Oh, yeah.
No, there's definitely
Not a lot.
Right. And I think that's just what it is that we find ourselves giving more.
That's amazing.
To receive something out of it. It's just like if I give more, then
maybe I'll get more.
It'll get reciprocated.
And that's not love.
Some.
Yes.
And it's not.
You know what taught me love? My son. When my son was born, before that, I was out there doing my thing. I didn't care. I was hood. I come from the trenches of Coney Island, so I lived a lot of my years in Coney Island. What's up, Jamaican princess? What's up, girl? So I lived my life, and let me know when you're about to die, so I'm plug with you. But I lived my life, and I spent a lot of my years, especially my teenage years in Coney Island, Brooklyn, right? And I was in the streets. I was gang banging. I was down with the Decepticons. That's why you see the Decepticons on my car, because that was a gang that I grew up on, and they disbanded years ago in Brooklyn. And I grew up as a man and got different needs, different wants as I grew up, and I just wasn't into the gang bang culture. But back then, I was popping off. I was out in the streets doing all kind of crazy crimes, and I just didn't care about nobody. I figured nobody give a F about me. I don't care about nobody. You know what I'm saying? And because my mom put me out when I was young for gang banging and doing all that. Oh yeah, that's them. Yep. So I'm doing all the crimes in the world, and I just was considered myself. I just didn't care. And what made me care was, hey girl, what's up? So what made me care was when my son was born, and this innocent being. I looked at this thing, and I realized there was nothing this thing could do for me to hate it or want to harm it. Unless, like I told y'all, it became a negative being or something that's destructive. I mean, he got to be a pedophile or a raper or, you know what I'm saying, a murderer, just a mass serial murderer, just killing people. I'm going to take your ass out. But besides that, there was really nothing that my son could do to make me hate him. You feel me? So I've been in a relationship, but we done fought and domestic violence situations. Most of the time it was me getting thrown down the stairs because I ain't really a violent person like that. But for cheating and doing all this kind of stuff, I never really cheated. But I used to live as a polygamist, and a lot of women would act like they down with that and then get mad later. So I used to deal with that a lot. But now I'm not really into polygamy as much because I've grown and I just don't want to pay for it. Nothing personal. Nothing against it, but
that is the key factor. You have to be able to afford.
Yeah, you got to be able to afford that. And the law that I know, you're supposed to be able to provide each woman their own. You can't do this whole sexual thing they be doing where everybody just piled up together. No, each woman got to have their own house or their own room or their own something. You have to be able to provide each one of them their independent space. You can't have them all just linked up together so you can have sex with everybody. That's both. So that being said, I never wanted to attack that energy, and I was raised by a polygamous father. So a lot of women, a lot of times, this is another thing, I'm going to give y'all some juice for all y'all females that's been out there that I have talked to and it didn't work. I'm going to let y'all know. Man, this is where the big problem, we got a new topic, polygamy. I'm going to put y'all on.
Wow.
Okay, so obviously my father's one of the biggest polygamists that ever lived. You feel me? I got over 117 brothers and sisters. And my mom was one of like 50 wives when I was born. So I understand polygamy, but polygamy, for the most part, especially culturally speaking, is based for growth. It is designed for growth and familyhood, a large unit and community. But so many people use it as an excuse to be sexual deviants. Oh, I want to have sex with 2 and 3 women, or I want to have, you know what I'm saying? I want my cake and I want to eat it too.
There ain't no culture behind it.
But there's no culture and no real purpose. Again, we're going back to what is the purpose of a man? To build and to create. What is he building or creating that causes it to be needed? That's the question you ask a man when he wants to be polygamous. What are you building or creating that causes it to be needed? Show me the blueprint. What are you trying to do here?
So, okay, so, bro, that means you...
Y'all see this, right? I'm giving y'all the jewels now.
Brother, you was definitely on...
Oh, he was telling you that, huh?
No, literally, I pulled up last night. I went to a spot last night, and we ended up just texting. I'm sitting in the car, and he ended up telling me, like, that's what he got going on, and his viewpoint on it was just like, they need to be with the program, and nobody's bigger than the program. Right. So I'm just like, so what you mean, bro? He's just like, everybody plays their part, but it's for one program.
Well, what's your program?
Whatever his program is.
Yeah, but it's usually not cultural, and that's why the girls ain't down. Right.
That is true, but he's an Islamic brother.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's cultural.
He does have the culture.
That's cultural.
And that's where this is deriving from.
He's got too many Americanized women.
No, and I was telling him, I'm like, oh, bro, you can go ahead and just get you like not the ones that converted, not like me.
You need to go back to West Africa.
Like you need to, you need to get you one of the ones. He was just like, nah. He was like, what did he say? He said, I don't want nobody teaching them. I was like, so you telling them they brothers in the E-Man can't teach these women? He started laughing.
No,
but
they can't.
He wants to be the teacher of
absolutely,
women.
absolutely.
So I'm learning all of this from him. Like we really told me paragraphs going back. I should just call him. We take it back and forth.
You can bring him next time.
He's incarcerated, but he will be
out.
Dang. He just wrote a book that was just published 3 days ago.
He's not violent, is he?
No.
Free my boy then. Free him. Cause I don't be like free murder my man murder down in jail. Nah, leave him in there.
I'll share that information with you guys. He's wrongfully in prison right now. It was a car accident. Not intoxicated. They just overly charged him. There's the same case with a white guy.
You wouldn't have been all that, right? We know what it is. You see how they do us. You see how they do us. That's why we need y'all support.
It was just really interesting, and he was just like, no. So I'm just like, well, bro, I'm gonna be a polygamist. I'm gonna have me a man for every day of the week. He's like, no, sis, you can't do that. But he did. I'm just.
I know. We know that's a joke.
Yeah, but he was in all seriousness.
The woman ain't called a polygamist.
No,
something else.
Right. But
polygamist.
Yeah, but he was he did break it down to me. He was just like, really, everybody has a role to play, and I feel like I've been presented those situations, like the polygamous situations, and I thought I was open to it at one point in time. But me personally, I feel like I'm 10 women in one. Like I promise you, there's almost nothing that I can't do.
Yeah, there's one thing you can't do, and this is why, and this is what was needed. You can't have enough babies to build a nation on your own.
For so many eggs.
That is true.
That
but
is
I'm
the
not
one thing.
I can't say that none of these guys that were interested in that type of relationship was on the fact that I needed a football team. They was not.
They ain't building nothing.
They just wanted to know.
They just want 2 girls to pop on.
They just want to know if I was okay flipping bitches.
That's all it be. That's what they be on.
Flipping, but it's big.
It's fun for a minute, but then if you into that, but then where's it going?
And that was the thing. It wasn't going anywhere, and that's because it was not driven from a place of I need some. So then it was either a man who wanted to just live off of women. So it's not like they're building. It's just that you might not have it, so now I can go to this chick and get it from her, or go to this chick. It's like, and I'm not interested in nobody's rotation.
No.
And not in a good
not
for financial purposes.
I will never.
Yeah, that's not right.
I will never fit in nobody's rotation.
Yeah, this is the type of stuff men be on. They try to convince women that see, you supposed to be down with me and helping me out, and I need more help, and you ain't doing it. Help you do what? Help you do what? What are you trying to accomplish that you need all of these women to do? Okay? Now, my father built an entire nation. Go look him up. And he had problems with that because you can't do but so much. Because absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay? So you have to be able to nurture each of the women that you bring into that circumstance. And if you don't have the ability to give them each what they need, first of all, one of the rules that I tell you that's part of polygamy that a lot of people don't know, first, from my book, because I'm going from the Bible. That's where I go from. A lot of y'all might not know where I get my knowledge from. I attribute most of my information to the Bible, but not the Bible y'all read. I read the original Torah with only the Old Testament in ancient Hebrew. Okay? That's the original language. I don't read it in English because it's been rewritten and it's garbage. Okay? So, if you go, and where do you find that at? The library. go to the tablets themselves. You're going to have to find them. They usually move them around. They do exhibits all over the world. They move the biblical tablets around, okay? So you can find out where they are and actually read them, but you're going to have to learn how to read ancient Hebrew, okay? Which I did when I was in my youth. So that's where I'm getting the laws from. The law teaches you, that's just the one I subscribe to. That's not to say that that's for everybody, but that's the one I subscribe to because from my knowledge, the Bible is the most accepted book in the world. And everything is really about agreement. There is no truth or right or wrong. Right and wrong is perceptions people have other things. You feel me? I like this, that's right, I don't like it, it's wrong. But the truth is that things just are. Things are. And when we get, like, whether this is a black phone case, why is it black? Because we agree to call whatever this color is, or whatever we see from our spectrum, black. And if you say black and I say black, we understand each other. But if you say it in a different language, I'm going, what? Until you translate what you see that as in the language I can relate to it as. So then we get back to agreement. So this is really about agreement. And what I've noticed is when it comes, because we're going to get back to polygamy, what I've noticed is that when you come up in a society, look at this, two bastards right on my cup. I can't get them both. I bet you I miss both of them some bitch. Man, these little gnats been fucking me up. I don't know where they coming from. Man, I done tried so much stuff, man. Yeah. I can't stand no more.
The house thing, it didn't work.
Yeah, we put the apple cider vinegar with it. They tell you apple cider vinegar with some dishwashing liquid. Is this specific dishwashing liquid? But anyway, so getting back to it, if you're looking for something in polygamy, the key is to understand the laws. And the laws that stated, one of the laws stated in the Bible, it was that you cannot take from anything from one wife to give to another. But what a lot of men fail to realize is that includes time. That includes time. So if you was giving her Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can't take away Friday to give it to another girl because she's gonna be like, what happened to Friday? You used to come around on Friday. You always. Women judge patterns. Women are used to patterns like children.
But that's how we know when
something changed.
And that's because men don't realize that they're creatures of patterns. So if you use the street, humans are, but even in relations, you notice your man more than anything. So if he's treating you and doing something for you on a regular basis, it's going to be routine and pattern for you. So the moment that it switches up, even if it's your attitude or whatever the case may be, we notice that.
Now,
so
who's this?
Exactly. So
this is how you get caught, guys. Y'all hearing it giving you the sauce.
Because you think, I don't have to snoop. Your actions is
telling me what's going on.
That something's going
and some of y'all do be snooping. Some of y'all be digging that hard to find your man.
Let me tell you now, for the last 3 years I dealt with this guy, I did it. And the one time I was woken up out my sleep, I kid y'all not, because when nothing was killed 3 years ago, I told him that I was just like, I'm not doing it. You always gonna find something you're not looking for. So I never did it. The one time that I did,
found what you wasn't looking for.
I'm talking about, it was about to be babies popping up on me, all types of shit. So I'm going back to I am not going to look like at all. I'm being Delululand.
Man, that's me.
Like, keep me delusional.
My girl, my ex, I was with for 12 years. We was together for 12 years, on and off. And then the last 6 years we was together straight for 6 years, right? Meanwhile, she was with another man for a year and a half, ended up pregnant by him. That's the only way that I found out. Because I would never look. I don't give a fuck. If I can't trust you, what is this worth? So I'd rather not even look. Because once I find out, if I go to my grave and never knew, I'm happy. Who cares? All we're trying to do is have a good life.
I've been going through it.
I'm trying to have a good life.
And I regret it so much because the dynamics of the relationship has changed. And even like, it's hard to go back because now I can't function or think or process anything outside
always expectation of that happening again. And it's this because you ruined the thought. So going back to it, you cannot take away time management. You cannot take away properties. You cannot take anything. So how is it possible for you to get another wife if you've already given this woman so much energy and now you're trying to take it back? That's not fair to her. It's not fair to anything that she's given to you. It's just not fair. So what that means is going back to purpose. What is a man supposed to be focused on? You're supposed to be focused on your purpose. You're supposed to be building as a man, and she's supposed to find you and want to be a part of that purpose. Then she ain't chasing down your dick. Then she ain't watching where your dick going. Where you over here doing that? What you over there? Because you already told her what you're doing, and you should be on that purpose. And your dick shouldn't be wandering out of your purpose. And now if your big purpose got some of that, like my father, then who was she? Then she's the one ruining it, coming around accepting something that she ain't really a part of. You ain't truthful with this man, and you ain't being honest, and he tell you like me. I women come around me all the time, and I tell them what kind of family I got, and they say weird shit like your father was a Rolling Stone. And I know right away you don't respect my culture, because my father was not a Rolling Stone. He didn't roll anywhere. He was in the same place with all his wives was with him. And the ones that chose to left, and the ones that chose to come. He never left anywhere. So that's not rolling anywhere. But the point is that you have a broken idea of what you believe because you're monogamous, that automatically he was doing something wrong. And that mentality tells me I can't bring you around my family. What if I bring you around my brother that has 2 wives and she don't even talk to men when they come in the house? And you gonna be in there telling him, talking to her, you doing what? I wouldn't do that. Now you put monkey wrenches in my family. That ain't got nothing to do with me wanting to be polygamous. That got to do with me wanting to have a stable and respectable family and respecting another man's household. And a lot of people do not respect other people's culture.
Especially Americans. Americans say everybody's culture.
So that's the key. The key is to respect culture and pick what you want in a man and stick to that. Don't worry about the man. The man is going to be struggling doing what he do. If you respect what he's doing and you're trying to help him get there, and if you want to get into marriage and all of that, there's other ways to make contracts. You don't have to write, you can write up your own contract with your mate. It don't got to be the general wedding contract. That's a contract between the state, you, and your husband. Right. You ain't got to do that. You can go sit down with a lawyer and build your own rules and stuff that you say. And if you do this, because you promising to do that, because here's what I think about cheating men. If you are a man and you are a cheater, you are a weak man.
Poor character.
Poor character man.
Lack of principles.
Lack of, thank you, brother.
Which makes a man.
No, not only because of the loyalty, it's because of the promise. Yeah. A man ain't shit but his balls and his word. If your word ain't shit, you ain't shit. So I don't care about all the, no, cause if she gonna well up, then leave her.
Yeah.
If you can't control it and you don't feel like you have no control, why are you there?
Right.
Why are you going to abuse the woman on the back end and then try to act like it's because of her character? No, it's because of your poor character. And that you have to acknowledge. That's why I don't agree with Kevin Samuel. Although I've agreed with a lot he used to say, you feel me?
He had certain things on point.
Certain things was on point. But when you start saying that a man, because he's a high-valued man, should be able to explore his options.
2 cheats.
No, bro. No. It's not about being able to explore your options. Every man, the more money you get, the more powerful you are going to have options. But what's about your moral character?
I think the brokest of the broke have options. The doggest of the
dog. Not really. Not as a man.
No. Not the ones that they
You don't get the options you want. The same as a woman. Every woman got options. How many niggas in there?
That's what I'm saying.
How many of them you want?
That's
why you're not married.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like just the numbers right now is skewed. What is it, 15 women to 1 guy?
Absolutely.
Like, it's definitely going to be a array of women.
And then a lot of them want rich men. So you really close the gap.
The same men.
Yeah, y'all all want the same dudes. That's why y'all all got so many baby daddies. It's the same. Mufasa in the building. You need to pull up and eat something. We know you hungry.
Right. Okay.
Most 18% of the men is making most of these babies out.
18% of black men is making most of the babies out here, and then women say they can't find a good man. That's because y'all all looking for the same man. If y'all stop looking for the same man and knew what kind of man
so
to look for.
So do I go foreign? Because that was a thing for a while,
ooh,
right?
Good. Oh my goodness, she got all the good questions.
There was a time when it was just like, the guys are just like, oh, they done with black women. They're tired of black women. They want to go foreign. So now our thing was not saying that I have, and that's just
no, that's fine. Bring it out.
But what they was definitely saying, they was just like, well, we about to go foreign. We about to go get us a little Oriental.
Okay.
We finna go get us a, you know what I'm saying, something else, and because we see how they treat their women culturally.
Right.
And I think that also ties into the fact that we don't know our culture. We're not associated with one. So therefore, there's nothing
no
for
strength
us
there to hold on to.
So us to be like, oh, we can refer to like, and then like you just dismantled the whole black family from what we saw on television.
Exactly.
So that's not even something to really
look toward
as well. So I'm just like, do we go forward, or do we, you know what I'm saying, or do we?
Here's the answer. Now you can agree, disagree, whatever. Okay, TikTok.
I mean, because foreign can be African to a black woman in America.
Okay, so here's the answer. The answer to that is this. Depends on what you want to create. Because the male, remember we talked about the apple seed? Okay, so if you want a white man, If you want a white baby, go get a white baby. But understand, that is not a black child anymore. It may look black, but that is a melanated white boy. This is the difference.
That's how they improve their seed.
And they prove their seed through you. And that's why it's not the same when it's the male. Because I get this, if we go into war and I take their women and make them ours, is that the same? You see the difference? They know the difference. And they take all the best of our women, the Halle Berrys. When do we get the best of theirs?
Never. When we do, we
What black man is dating the supreme white women? Not the garbage. Not the Kim Kardashians of the world. She's an Armenian. That to white people is like a Negro, a nigger.
Yeah, it's like a European Negro.
That's a European nigger.
You know.
You feel what I'm saying? No, go see if I'm wrong.
No, it's not.
Listen, they don't want her. They want the best of theirs. You see Katy Perry marrying a nigga? You see who's the top #1 artist in the world right now?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. She married a white man, or did she go to the champion of white men? She married a black man though? Who's better in football, him or the black guys? So he made sure she picked the top white man she could. He was in the top of his game when she picked him, but she ain't picking no black man. And that's the difference. We, as men, we have the ability to conquer. So when we go to war, we take what's called concubines. That's not saying that these black men out here dating these corny, broke-ass, bum white women is taking concubines. No, most of them just taking what they can because they want to. We got a lot of colorism issues. You get what I'm saying? But I'm talking about when we get into the dynamics of black versus white, and should a black woman choose a white man? The question is do you want to, do you find value in your race, in your culture, specific culture, because that white man has a culture, whether it's Italian, whether it's whatever it is. And if he chose to teach your children, he cannot teach them how to be black. So he'll never be able to teach your black son how to be a black man. So that will never be because that's not a black son. I don't care what color he looks. He may have to deal with societal problems because of his color.
So it's a false narrative to say if your mother's black, you're black.
It's not a false narrative. It's just black is not a thing.
Black isn't a thing.
You get what I'm saying? This is why they're using the word black, because now you're dealing with color. If your mom's black and you come out black, you're black. But did you know Bob Marley is a white man? His father was European, 100% white. Like if you look up Bob Marley's father, this man was a straight. I got your ass. I got a couple more to get into, but an Englishman, and his mother was Jamaican, and this is why white people put him on the top of the spectrum of reggae music. Not because he was so powerful. Barack Obama, another one. Now, me personally, I think Barack Obama was a clone. I don't even think
he's allegedly black.
We're gonna talk about him because too many of us be looking at color and thinking because now here's what I don't like about it. I might be joking, but I'm gonna keep it home with you. Why did you give us a black man out of all the black men you could have gave us from a place that no black people can authenticate? Hawaii. You know a nigga from Hawaii? Any of y'all motherfuckers know a nigga from Hawaii? It's very rare because Hawaiians is from Hawaii. So if he was born in Hawaii or raised in Hawaii, how does he relate to the black plight?
By color.
Just because of his skin tone. That's why he's really related to Bush.
Yeah,
and Dick Cheney. This is why the color does not matter. Stop thinking because someone. So what they did was they found somebody to have a black man with that was acceptable with their. But his point was for them. It wasn't for us. He wasn't designed to help us. He was designed to make us think we were getting help so that they could then later put Trump in office and other people in office because they wanted to continue white men being president, but they was having problems. And they may want to they tried to give you a little woman president too, but you know, the world ain't ready to accept that right now without attacking America because they're going to look at us like pussy because we already accepting all this homosexuality. No disrespect, but that's how the world looks at us. You feel what I'm saying? So the LGBT and all that being so prominent in this country causes a lot of other countries that don't accept that to look at America as weak. So they put Trump in office because he's a businessman and they needed to build the economy of America back up because our deficit was plummeting. So he was the best at the time. You remember him on the show that he had. He was the biggest businessman ever, and he went bankrupt multiple times and pulled himself out of bankruptcy. So they're using him to do that for America. So everything he's doing is to help America get out of bankruptcy. Has nothing to do with black, has nothing to do with white. He is a businessman.
But I don't understand why there's no. I think that he makes that very clear that it's not about.
Absolutely. He
But
does.
I think Donald Trump in itself has always displayed business.
100% business. He cares nothing about race, color. Not to say that he ain't racist now. Don't get me wrong now.
All white men have a certain amount of...
And all of us is racist.
Yeah,
Come
come
on.
on.
I'm going to rephrase that. All of us is prejudiced. Racist, I'm racist because I love my race. Like a pianist loves a piano, I love my race. So I'm racist.
I mean, I could probably be considered racist too, and that's just because
Come on, we be ignorant as hell. I be calling Chinese people Chinese.
Like, yeah,
I don't even know what you are. You could be from Laos and I be like Chinese.
And I feel like I do that because I have nothing but African blood in me, but then again, it's just like, is it really?
Nah, it's because
like,
we all ignorant. We be on here talking like Arab. We know damn well it's Arab. We all say Arab.
For 4 years, they was sick of me with the Arabs, okay?
We ain't shit with
They don't like
that.
that shit.
Yeah.
Only one dude
They're
I
my
heard
Habibis.
so
I
called
love
himself
them.
an
I
Arab.
love them though.
Yeah, man.
But no, Trump is definitely not race driven. He's definitely business driven.
Yeah.
That's right.
And what I feel people need to recognize about him is that he has a preference of money. So he is dealing with you.
And his constituents.
It's money.
It's about money and how much you can get.
And what he doesn't want, because I seen a clip that he said that if he could be, he said black men are like the most. He said black men are the superior ones. Was what he stated. I'll
Not that we need, thank you, but
that,
not that we need your permission.
No,
but
we
thank
didn't
you.
need no validation. What he said
No, I
was that
understand what you're saying, sis.
he would love to be a black man.
Ooh.
If he could. He said this came out of his mouth, and I'll show you guys the clip.
Oh yeah, he used to hang with everybody.
Yeah.
He barely did a couple of them Diddy parties. Those
No,
shit.
Just around Michael Jackson. He's doing some back in the day.
But my point was is
Right. He was
that
at the
not
Diddy
only
party.
did he recognize it, but that's why I say he's financially driven is because he understands that about black culture or black people or Africans, and that's why it's such a hard thing for him, or why he's so driven to getting rid of the things that's been tearing down the black family.
Yeah.
They don't want to associate. They just like, oh, he's getting rid of food stamps. Now we got stuck on food stamps.
Facts.
We got
Facts.
stuck on,
And it's been breaking down the household. It's what caused women to not allow the men in the
So the
home.
one thing he don't do is respect the lazy black man, and that's just because he sees
And neither do we.
knows the power and the culture of us, so he's trying to get rid of that.
That's right.
And that's just where the struggle is. So I'm not gonna say that I'm a Trump lover, a Trump supporter, but Trump has done things culturally that I've seen, and personally for me, my family was here for 30 years, no papers. You get my grandma, they got their papers because of Trump. A bill that he signed.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Liberians,
For Liberians, yes, but Liberians, as long as you was here since before 2014, I believe when you pay taxes, you can get your paperwork.
Wow.
So my grandmother, my aunt, my mom, all of them was able to get their paperwork. So I respect certain things that he do. Now, is he a little outlandish and
that's his public personality.
He's a white man.
That's
He's gonna have
public
certain
personality.
racism.
Yes.
And I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a supporter of any of the
anything
politics.
political.
But
and
what I will say
science
is,
major.
Oh,
but
wow.
I went to an HBCU and I learned then that I wasn't going into politics because that's not what I was about.
Okay.
So it took me to get into that and to actually learn what was going on. Straight like, God, this is not for me. Like this. What I learned with politics was Dr. Johnson. He described it. Yeah, sure.
People been.
What did Dr. Johnson say? He said, politics, blood sucking leeches. If you break down the word politics, that's what that is.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And that's why he put Elon Musk to try to tear their asses up. They ain't like that.
They ain't like that. They ain't like that at all.
Man.
I think he really represents American idealism. You know what I mean? American idealism from the beginning.
No, he's stating that he's really trying to.
And America's a corporation, people.
Morals as well.
So he's a businessman. He's a corporation.
So that's what he's focusing
the top
on.
businessman on top of the corporation.
Yes.
And he's representing morality. He's representing certain things in public for the world.
I don't know if he represents.
I don't know if
I ain't gonna say that.
He grabbing pussies
I say that because
they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Moral stances on certain things. That's why I say that.
I understand what you're saying.
On the homosexuality, on certain things, the trans thing, and all that, he's taking moral stances on these things.
We're not saying anything against. I want to speak because I don't try to cancel it. That we're not saying anything against it. But it does, and I will stand firm that it becomes a problem when it's enforced on children.
Yeah, they're affecting us with that.
Adults can make their own decisions to do whatever you want to do. But when you are enforcing,
some of y'all is not.
But when you are enforcing and imposing that on children and Like, that's where I have to draw the line because I feel like they should be able to make those decisions as adults. But I don't think that's what you teach generations. It's too impressionable. And I think that's extremist for me. That's where I draw the line. But we here for whoever. Rainbow, Rainbow, Skittles, ABCD, EFG, HIJK, LMNOP, we're here. But don't force it. Don't force it on me and don't force it on these babies.
Absolutely. And these are the things that so yeah, we about morality in here. We don't necessarily know you enough to like you, Trump, but we do appreciate anything that's moving toward the morals and anything that you got. And we're not. Me personally, I'm not too abreast on all the politics, so I can't claim anything that I agree with this or don't agree with this policy or whatever. All I'm saying is that
rhetoric.
It's just it's all the same.
I don't like to be told what to do either. And they told us to hate that man, and I don't hate anybody.
So now,
they told us to love Obama, and I'm supposed to love Kamala Harris when she's married to a white man. That tells me that you against me.
Come on,
I'm not
But why doesn't she use her married name though? Why is she going by her maiden name?
To try to manipulate you and thinking she's a black woman. When she chose to be something else.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, now.
Let's talk about it. But I'm just saying, so no, I don't want to be, don't write me down as a Trump supporter, a nobody supporter. Right. I'm a realist. I support what's right, and I recognize. I had to plug that in while I had a platform to use for y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me here today.
And we still here. Oh, this is my boy too. I want y'all to go check out this book right here. Yeah. I don't know if y'all see that. Y'all see that book there? Yeah, go check that out right there. This is my boy. He just put out a novel, just got home from prison or whatever. He was in prison when he wrote this novel. I don't know if he just got home, but he was in prison when he wrote this novel. And we want to support our brothers that's out here writing and doing things positive. So let's get out there and give some support to these brothers that are trying to do something positive in the community and just, and they ain't out here gang banging or hurting nobody. And he also has this initiative, a Black Brothers Initiative. So tap in with him and let me give you the back. I don't know how y'all can find him or whatever, but yeah. Go find this brother and show him love because he showed me love and I'm trying to do the same. So we out here, man. And now with that being said, let's reset.
A different way. Here we go. It's Divine.
Oh, y'all. It's Divine Reset on all platforms.
It's Divine Reset on all platforms. He gonna be on track certified.
Oh yeah, I'm there. Not only that, check out my new video coming out tonight, June 6th. Nah. Check me out on YouTube. Get that nigga, you should hear Reset. He come to the curb, yeah. Come out with your girl, yeah. Reset, so you can show out, you can show off. Even if on your urgent, send that nigga to the left, to the land. That energy you need to earn it. He wanna keep you to himself, but you too bad for all of that, that's not your personality. That nigga tryna bring you down, yeah. You know he nagging all of that, ain't got a bag and girl a sack, so why the hell you keep around, yeah. Tell him you ain't got the time. He tripping cause you outside tonight. Insecure because he know you fine. Let me go. Girl, get that nigga, you should hit reset. Reset. He come to the curb, yeah. Pop out with your girl. We about to eat. Reset. So you can show out. You can show off. Don't like his energy. That nigga's in the way. Pop your shit. He can be replaced. He gon' lock you down. He trying to keep you locked down. Always gotta be around. Why you got to keep around?
Play's coming out, y'all. Play's coming out, y'all. Hey.
Y'all see that?
Hey.
The food is here.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all gonna miss it. That's alright. Monday, we here. Chef Y'all see that? Y'all see that?
We got some more current energy about to pull up there.
Show off, people. Show out and show off. We ain't gonna let nobody else go. That's we got somebody else coming. Oh, let's turn it off so quick. Ain't nobody else no shine. Okay, and this one is dropping soon. The music video coming out June 6th. So mark your calendars. June 6th. Nah video will be dropping on YouTube. Tap in and tell me what you think. Cause we doing it big here. We got another homegirl coming through. People want to eat, man. They eating here, man. Food looks good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, girl. Next time you're going to be here with us. Don't worry about it.
This is a real reaction, y'all.
She got the na. She gon' back it up like ooh la. Laughing to the bank like ha ha ha. Haters gon' talk like blah blah blah. Blowing that gas, shorty on 10. Whipping that Benz. She playing to win. She got the na. She gon' back it up like ooh la la. Laughing, you see that? What it taste like? You see that? Oh, y'all missing out. We eating good. Whipping that Benz. She playing to win. If y'all don't see this, y'all. I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna let y'all know. Y'all just keep sleeping on this good stuff. He gave me a plate like I'm a fat dude. You see this? You see this fat man plate I got? No! I ain't even gonna eat all of this, but I'm gonna try my hardest. Oh, trust me, I'm gonna try. Y'all ain't ready for this here, boy. That's good stuff there, boy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's all on me. This plate is on me, baby. This plate is on me. Oh, we got another lovely lady in the house. Zaza, shorty on 10. Hello. Welcome. Come on around and introduce yourself to the camera.
I don't know about all that.
You ain't got no choice, you here. We vlogging, baby. This is a podcast. We have another beautiful lady in the building. Say hello to everybody. Hey girl. Oh, we eating good here, baby. You ain't even gotta stress now, cause you're dealing with the best now. I'm just trying to score like a touchdown. I can give you more if you tell me what you want now. She's a freak in the sheets. She belong to me, she ain't one for the streets. Get into the money when I eat, she gon' eat. She gon' ride for the team. That rider inside her, fire and desire. When I call, she gon' come for me, cause she already knows she gon' come for me. Baby, you're a fantasy. I'ma beat it up when you're mad at me. You're a 10, you're a masterpiece. You're the only one for me. She got the na. She gon' back it up like ooh la la. Laughing to the bank like ha ha ha. Haters gon' talk like blah blah blah. Blowing that gas, shorty on 10. Whipping that Benz. She playing to win. Yeah, she got the na. She gon' back it up like ooh la la. Laughing to the bank like ha ha ha. Haters gon' talk like blowing that gas, yeah. Woo!
Make my pop swap come out, you know.
Y'all got some. I gave y'all some jewels on the music. Gave y'all some jewels on the wisdom. Giving y'all some food to eat. How much value can I give y'all? I'm giving y'all jewels from the princess over here. We got. No, I'm sorry, queen over here. You know what I'm saying? And if this ain't enough for y'all, I don't know what to tell you. Mondays, we here, we chopping it up, we eating it up, and we gonna end this here because we about to chow down. We gave y'all enough, and next Monday, tune in right here on all these channels because we turning up. Chef Chains, shouts out to Chef Chains. Hold up, we gotta give a shout out to Chef Chains. Come up in here, boy.
Hey.
He's still making plates, man. He's still making plates, man. And we about to eat. So it's a wrap. We out of here. Thanks for tuning in. We are doing our thing, and we appreciate all of you. Much love, likes, and come on, man. appreciate you. I came from blessed eyesight. You feel me? Yeah. So we gonna enjoy this grub and check y'all later. Peace, deuces, y'all. Oh, wait a minute, Chef Chains, he's here. Get that love, boy. You see that,
make
boy?
sure y'all tune in every Monday, man.
Every Monday.
Different food, man. Different vibes.
Food, different vibe. And if you can make it, come on through because we're gonna show you some love. Deuces out, y'all. Much love.